to two main highways. So let me explain. The good thing about this, people, if you are a late person to work, you now have a viable excuse. I'm just saying, all you got to do is say, well, it's traffic on 25. And now you're not lying. You don't have to use the Kevin Hart excuse saying you hit a Debra. If you remember that Kevin Hart stand up, a Debra, a deer and a zebra together, you can now just blame it on the highway. Blame it on the highway. No matter what direction you go, 20, 85, and now 285 is going to be taking the overflow of both highways. It's ridiculous. So I live off 75. So if for those who are listening, can we please pray? Let's pray for 75, and 75 holds up. I need 75 not to get destroyed, because if that happens, all hell breaks loose. Because I know for damn sure I'll be at work late every day. Because 75 would be a hot ass mess. But yeah, crazy situation in Atlanta, and I don't know how they're going to fix this highway, but I think that's more of a fixable situation. But I don't know what geniuses were testing his gas pipe. That was just ridiculous. But I'm sure they pretty much got fired today with no questions asked. So I had to put bits and pieces of the story together. This story has been not mind-boggling, but it's been more just sad. The more I read it, the more I try to wrap my head around this. But so, unless you've been sleeping under a rock, the situation in Cleveland, the Steve guy, real name is Steve Stevens. The Cleveland Police Department is saying the man could be nearby or could be far away. Wow. So this story and I posted this on Facebook. I said, there's something that's not right about this whole story and this whole situation and the whole randomness of the situation. But Cleveland police aren't quite sure where Steve Stevens is. Of course not. After he shot and killed 74-year-old Robert Godwin Sr. on Facebook Live Sunday. The manhunt has now expanded to several Midwest and Northeast states. Now, let me say the whole Facebook Live thing. Facebook is saying that it was uploaded to Facebook. It was never a Facebook Live feed. That's crazy, because when people who got a chance to see it, you literally saw the comments while it was live. So I don't know why Facebook said that. I don't know, they're trying to save face or trying to keep people from losing disinterest in using Facebook Live. But Facebook Live has been involved in a couple of murders. People out here tripping. Authorities say Stevens could be in Pennsylvania, New York, Indiana, or Michigan. Stevens' cell phone last released a ping approximately 100 miles from Cleveland in Erie, Pennsylvania. So I don't know at what point you all been looking for the dude, but Stephen Anthony is the FBI special agent in charge, said in a press conference today, at this point he could be in a lot of places. Pretty much, dummy. He could be nearby, he could be far away, and anywhere in between. Wow. That's a hell of a radius, to find somebody. Where do they hide these people from? We're still asking Steve to turn himself in, but if he doesn't, we'll find him. Cleveland Police Chief Calvin Williams said, we're not going to stop until we find him. So Stephen's mother, Maggie Green, told CNN that the last time she saw her eldest son was on Saturday when he told her, "If you see me again, it'll be a miracle." According to Green, she learned of the shooting after her youngest son told her about the video Stevens posted on his Facebook page. That's when she called her son, who told her he was shooting people because he was mad with his girlfriend. She said she spoke to him only briefly before the phone, quote unquote, died. So, well, phone lines are open too as well. 446419606. As we wrap up the latter part of the show. Got a few more minutes with you all. But I'm trying to figure out, it's some bits and pieces to the story that don't make sense. So let me get into the heartbreaking story. So I watched the actual shooting of this guy, the older man that was murdered. And in watching this, it was sad. And then I just analyzed the way he was shot, the way he fell, the way it just. I mean, I'm not gonna be the one to say, "Oh, it was fake," but it just did. It was just too surreal, and just. Are people really becoming that bold? Are people really becoming just that ignorant? Are people becoming that infatuated with people that we lose focus on ourselves? Now, I watched a part of his Facebook feed where I guess his friends are reaching out to him, and he's telling his friends, "You all wasn't trying to hear what I had to say, what I was telling you, I was going through it, and blah blah blah." So I'm a big person on people posting their personal problems on Facebook, meaning I despise it. But sometimes you can tell when somebody needs a friend. Let's not ignore the signs of depression, manic depression, bipolarism. All of these things affect our community. Mental illness affects the black community very deeply. I will say this: ain't no coochie that good to be going around telling her, "I'm going to kill everybody until you call me." I mean, that right there, I've never heard of nothing like that before. My thing is this: if you got an issue with someone like that, why not go find that person or go reach out to that person? What do you think you're going to get out of killing other people to get their attention? Like that right there did not make any sense to me when I was hearing that. Then he went into blaming his mother and this and that, and I'm like, okay, it's just so many several different avenues of craziness, and I don't get it. I don't get it. If anybody definitely wants to talk about it or give their 2 cents, you can definitely call in 446419606. I posted it on Facebook, and I had the homie chime in from Cleveland, and she said it's real. Everything that happened was real. But here's what I forgot to say this. Here's what's missing: the 13 other people he killed. No other reports of that have come in. The young lady that all this was about, she released a statement, and her statement was seemed kind of scripted, or seemed kind of just nonchalant. And quote unquote, it was a text sent to CBS News, obviously in Cleveland or wherever. And these are her words: "We had been in a relationship for several years. I am sorry for all of this that has happened. My heart and prayers goes out to the family members of the victims. Steve really is a nice guy. He is generous with everyone he knows. He was kind and loving to me and my children. This is a very good time, a very difficult time for me and my family. Please respect our privacy at this time. That sounded so generic and fake. I just don't get that. But I think as the story unfolds, I think it's going to be more to the story. It has to be, because this is just not just. Because it'll have me in awe that people have become that bold, dangerous, and ignorant. That black man, that 74-year-old black man, did nothing to nobody in this situation, and no one deserves to go out like that. And so the moral of all this, I think we should take from, we got to be more in tune with our loved ones and friends, checking up on them. If it ain't nothing but a text message or a phone call, we don't want to let whatever type of have you left that person the last time you talked to them, we don't want that to be the last impression if it wasn't good. You know, make amends with people. If you know, so you got some loved ones you haven't talked to in a while, some friends you haven't talked to in a while, make peace. That's definitely something that you don't want to live with. That guilt and that hurt and that pain, that's not a good thing. My advice to everyone, again, if you want to talk about it, I'm giving a few more minutes. 446419606. Phone lines are open. Don't be afraid to call in. Let's talk. But people, please protect yourselves. Arm yourselves sensibly, responsibly. That means get your permits, get your licenses to carry, learn how to shoot. You can go to different gun ranges and take lessons. Not just go pop, and then you relieve some stress. No, learn how to use your tools. But please be aware of your surroundings. Check on loved ones, because I don't want anybody I know or anybody, period, for this to happen to again. Because this is crazy. We also have to worry about what's going on in North Korea. North Korea is talking about now, attacking and doing this. So all that's going on in the world, people, let's really let's give our prayers. Let's say a prayer together. And it's in God's hands. No matter what you believe in, it's God is involved somehow, some way. And we need him more so than anything now to cover him, to cover us in his blood and love and protection, because I don't know what is wrong with these folks out here. I'm not easily shook up, but the boldness of what's going on is just on both the government and far as the situation in Cleveland and different people, man. It's crazy out here. But I'm gonna leave you all tonight and say I appreciate your support, appreciate your continued support right here on Simply United Radio. I appreciate your support for all our shows here, and I run through the list real quick. Midnight, you got Ed as Intended Brown with Record Breakers. On Wednesdays, you got King Quill next to Blow. Shout out to Quill. On Thursdays, you have my show, The Man Cave Show. On Saturdays, you have Travel Talk, with Low at 10 a.m. And then that evening, you have The Man Cave Show again. On Sundays, you have Real Talk 101 featuring Laima Hayes. And then on Monday, I'm right back here with you all on The Man Cave Show. In The Man Cave on Simply United Radio, WSUT. So once again, I appreciate you all tonight. Definitely check on your loved ones, family, and friends. Keep them close. Please be careful out here. Be aware of your surroundings. And I want to hear from you all on the next show, Thursday. Thank you for tuning in on this Monday night, on this crazy Monday. God bless.